All right, all right. Welcome back, guys. Welcome
Let me
back to
do the
Live
let's
Trading
get
Room.
ready. Hope
Let's do
everybody's
it.
mics and your headsets are not too loud, but
All right, let's do this. How you guys doing? Alex, Victor, welcome.
well, I
What's
think
up,
we all I,
everyone?
yeah, I think we all expressed our frustration because we were all in the same trade, not knowing that we were all in
Yeah.
the same trade, but we were all in the same trade, and we all got bulldozed by price action.
Dude, I think a lot of people got stopped out on GU. I posted it on Twitter and I had a guy say like, yeah, I got the same entry, same stop loss, and he's trading ICT. And I saw another guy having the same entry as us. So I think actually, let us know in the comments. How many of you in the comments have actually been stopped out on a GU long in the previous hour? Because all of us three have just been stopped out on that one. So it would be interesting to see how many of you actually did go long GU. We're gonna have a couple say I short the GU, of course, but yeah.
If you short, to be fair play. If they shorted GU, that's a nice trade, you know.
Yep, yep.
Actually, there was a short EU, and I wasn't watching. And normally, I use them as confluence as well as an indicator. If I have because they move together. If I have a signal on EU, I want to be watching if GU is very close to its target, because then I might want to pull it off. But I wasn't watching, and I could show it later on, the EU as well.
Yeah, so we'll go through some of our trades that we've been doing, and Jonathan got a nice trade as well. Victor, then you go through some of your trades that you're doing. So yesterday, obviously, we had a little bit for me right here. I had a losing day yesterday. I did have an open trade that I actually left overnight, which is quite rare for me, and it was based off this price action here. And crazy to see. I was quite lucky with it actually hitting the take profits are probably like a pip, you know. That's very lucky to see that. You don't normally get that. So I was quite lucky with the take profit. Made all the losses back and then some. Today we got into a really nice trade, which for me was a good trade, and maybe we should have got out around this area, but still I was looking for price to continue up. The same as we always do. Break of this kind of area, which is a nice range here. So we broke that area. We broke above all of the EMAs. We then got in on a 50 fib, which you can see is it probably took the fib a little bit lower down. Probably would have been up to there. So we got in onto the 50 fib, and we were going to push it up to these levels right here. Unfortunately, we got a push up, held as support, another push up. I go out to speak to my partner for 20 minutes, come back down, I've been stopped out. So super
That
sucks.
is insane, man. Let me. I
The
want to
trade is
show.
a valid trade, to be fair.
I want to show my screen here because I have pretty much the same setup, but a bit late entry. Where's my screen at? I haven't even shared it yet. Let me find that one. It's right, gonna be right here. All right. So this is pretty much the same setup as Alex just showed, but I want to show you guys another perspective on this. And so I get a text. Like I was literally just about to open WhatsApp and send a message to Alex, like you probably want to long GU here, and the second before doing that, he sends me long GU. Like yeah, great mind thinks alike. Anyway, so I'm watching on the higher time frames here. I'm thinking, you know what? Like we came down on EU, GU, we came down right here, hit the 0.618 right here, and I'm thinking, you know what? It kind of looks like we might want to come up higher. And if I'm able to get a low time frame entry here, that would be a good. Oh, that is not the type of drawing that I was looking to make. Please do not make a short out of that one because I'm probably going to get banned. Anyway, so I'm looking for like a low time frame entry on this one, right? And if we go to the 15 minute, I believe the level that Alex looked at was this one right here. Interestingly enough, if you add a fib from this low to this high, you'll see the price comes down right into the reload zone right here. and it forms a nice bullish candle right here on the 15-minute. That's not where I got in. What I was looking for was a break above this level. So again, I'm looking at kind of like this structure here, where I want to see this level get broken with a move above that level, and then I'm actually looking for a bounce down here, and that's where I want to enter. So I waited for that breakout. So the breakout came. As you can see, the breakout came right here, and we had a move above. We had a 15-minute open and close above, down into the reload zone of this move. So a new fib from that low to that high, and that's the fib. And when I got that candle right here, I decided to market enter right after the close of that candle. So the exact same idea that Alex had, with almost the same moving averages and everything. But I think maybe you're on the 5 minutes. You're probably looking at this on the 5 minute, and you're looking at the bounces on the EMAs in the 5 minutes. You're just waiting for the indicator to load, and you'll see that they're going to come in quite nicely here on the 5 minutes as well. All right, so it's not loading, never mind. But on the 15-minute, it's the same trend on the 5 minute and the 50-minute. And this just looks perfect, just absolutely perfect. And then all of a sudden, while having lunch, I put one alert up here. All right, so I put one alert up here, and it said move stops entry. And then I put one alert down here, which says stop loss. I'm having lunch, and I'm like, yes, alert goes off. And I'm like, yeah, it's time to move that stop to entry. Problem is, it just went straight down and took us out. Victor, I think you had a previous trade on this one, right? A similar.
That is a big breath of frustration right there.
Yeah.
Man, today is one of those days, like Eddie's what it's called, Murphy's Law at work. Everything that I try to do seems to be going wrong. So I need to these days like this, I need to watch out, and that I don't get like my emotion in trading. So I don't go on tilt and try to put a little more risk or overtrade, revenge trade, because this is exactly my trigger, and I need to know. And this is something I've been working on from forever. Since forever, and it's something that doesn't go away, because that's how I am. I am a little bit aggressive in terms of trading. So what happened is I had let me see, this is the screen I'm sharing. Yes, I had this, as you guys know, I only look at order blocks, and I had this order block lining up here, telling me, right, when I started my trading day, that this is the ignition of a possible move up. So, and I go to the lower time frames. I didn't have any order blocks on 2, and I did find one on the 1. And as price was coming, let me see, as price, I was in here, right? So this order block was formed here right at the beginning of London session, and as it was formed, it went up, but left when it came down and formed those wicks. That is when I took off my structures, but this is where I was getting my entries going long, and I was aiming for this order block, which is I think I moved it, but I was aiming at this order block, which is the 80 first trouble area, FTA. So but what I didn't notice, and that is because you make mistakes sometimes, and I didn't notice, was that there was a pivot right before that level, and it didn't reach the pivot. But normally I put my TP like before the pivot. That's something I've seen many times. If you want, sometimes it doesn't reach the pivot, it misses by a pip or 2. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, one of my rules is when you have TPs that are very close to the last swing high of the whole structure, sometimes it's just better you put your TP right at that top. And I wasn't aware. I didn't do the things that I should have done. And if I did, I would have TP right in that wick, and I would be just fine. I'll be happy now, you guys. I'll be celebrating with 15R. But instead of that, I'm just down with 6R, because I had 6 entries in here. So that's one of those days that I need to keep my head level and try not to make it up and go in double or triple just to make up for the mistakes I made, because then it's gonna be a snowball effect, and I'll be making the hole bigger, and that's not a comfortable position to be in.
There you go. You got it raw. That is literally. I wonder how many traders have been in the exact position that you're in right now, and it's nice, and it's not nice, but it's refreshing to see, for people to see that they're not alone with those feelings. I definitely get that feeling. Definitely. So
you mentioned something very important here, Victor. The fact
things.
that I would say that these are potential tilt days. When things have the potential to really go wrong. Like you take a trade like this one and everything is lining up perfectly. But I see that a trade like this one, a trade like the one, you're getting a lot of alerts, man. A lot of alerts going on. A lot of action going on. A lot of action.
Let me get it off.
But I'm seeing. Look, I'm looking at the GU trade, and there's this satisfaction in knowing that you're taking a trade that fits all the criterias. And when you take a trade like that, for me, it doesn't matter if it's a winner or a loser. I still feel like that's a great trade, and it's a big difference between taking a trade where you're like, at the time of entry, you're like, you know what, this might not be the best trade, and then when that trade gets stopped out, that's when I have trouble, controlling my emotions and not going on tilt. But a trade like this, perfect trade, works out either way, because probability says that. I'm getting this comment a lot. I'm gonna take a look at gold, man. I'll take a look at gold after we've gone through the trades that we've taken today. And I also have lots of more pairs that we're going to take a look at today. So today we're not only doing EU and GU, we're going to be taking a look at all the majors and the currency pairs and whatever pair you want us to take a look at. So let us know what currency pair you want us to take a look at, and we'll do a analysis on that. And let us know if you're in any trades as well. We'd love to see that. Right. So is this the only setup that you looked at today?
No. There is another one, and because I was having many signals on GU, I started focusing more on GU. But I did have another. I did have this setup, and you will see how beautiful it is. Let me see if I got the correct price feed. Let me see. It's yes, this is the one exactly. So I look.
Wow.
This is my support area, and this is the order block that tells me market wants to go lower, and it comes back, and I go look for the lower time frames, and I see all those other time order blocks in there. So I get my green light to go short. So I know that I want to be having my reversal pattern within that structure. And then I identified that order block, right? I wasn't looking, identified this, but I wasn't looking when it was coming up, because this is the same time that GU was going up, right? So I was focusing on GU. I didn't do it well, doing both at the same time. It comes the first time, and this is a 1 minute entry signal, and you can see how this comes the first time and rejects it right here. And it goes for the second time and rejects it right there again. And this would have been one of those trades that I like. This is like how do you say that? This is enjoyment, pure enjoyment in trading when this happens. Yeah. You get your signal and it moves right away, all the way down. Well, if you got here, you were already in profit. Never went in drawdown. Let me get that off. But if you got the second time around, it went straight in your direction and didn't even, without a hiccup. That's like pure enjoyment. It's like having dessert all night, something like that. Like something it's too good to be true. But yeah, that was the other one, and this is what I meant when I said I use, since GU and EU, they move very similar. When one moves down like this, there is a high probability that the other one is not able to go up. At least it's going to stay the same, or it's going to go down as well, right? And that should have been when I got this signal, I wasn't looking. But if I was looking, that should have been one indicator that maybe I should pull the other one, or just do something about it, because if this is going to go, then perhaps the other one is not going to work out. And I didn't do that. So yeah, it's one of those days to learn. There's something coming back to what you said. It is good that you, well, like days like this, like something I was watching, and the market did react the way I was expecting. So the setup did work. I mean, this you can't see it on the screen because I took it off, but that was the structure, and I was getting in here with that move out. The entry were in here with tight stop losses, something like this, and some others were in here, and I was going for this, and it worked. My TP placement didn't get hit. My TP didn't get hit, but the move is there. The pattern is there. The market moved the way I expected, even though it didn't hit my TP. That's a good tip you gave right there, because even if you lost, this should be a positive thing, right? A positive value out of lesson out of it, because you can now think, okay, I didn't get it this time, but I am on the right path, and next time, my job is for next time to get this one, because that means that I only need that little bit, that little piece that was missing, and then I'm going to have this working, like producing profits. So that's a very good thing. I do that too. I feel that helps a lot when I have a down day and I go back and I see it. I'm almost there, and that helps me a lot psychologically. So that's a great tip you gave the viewers right there.
Yeah, and you also have the idea of positive expectancy. So when you're trading a specific system, and that system has a positive expectancy of whatever value, you know that whenever you're taking that setup, whenever you're taking a trade that fits with the edge of the system, you know that even if this individual trade that I'm taking is a loser or a winner, you know that the system is profitable. So it's much easier. It's much easier when you have the statistics to back it up. When you trade, like especially with the way you're trading, you're getting very specific signals. You're not trading very discretionary. You get a signal and you enter the trade, and you know that if you just keep on doing that, you're going to be profitable. So I think it's more challenging for someone who's purely discretionary to have that type of mindset of probabilities, and that's why having a trading journal and tracking your statistics is so important, because you need to know what your win rate is, what your average R is, and things like that, which is it's difficult when you're trading discretionary. It absolutely is.
I think you're so right. You're so right. When you have those data, when you know the performance of your trade plan, and it's so much easier to stick to it, because you only need to stick to it. You don't need to, it's not about this trade, this single one, or the next one.
All right, Saul, what's up?
Hey guys,
right.
How are you?
What's up?
How are you, Victor, Jonathan, Alex? How are you doing, guys?
Hi, Saul. How are you doing?
We're all crying about the fact that we lost the GU trade. I'm only joking, but we are all of us crying about it. Next one, guys.
Guys. All right, so we got Saul on here. He's not on here every day. If you have questions, make sure you type them into the comments. We want a lot of questions. We have good questions. We want good questions to Saul here today. So let me know everything you want to.
I just want to address just this stuff. Hey guys, have a good one. But take into consideration, yesterday you would be giving away 12 spots. I just want to make sure. But the reason why I put 11 names on there is because one of the names of the 12 people is from US. Unfortunately, we can't give the US person an account. So please, guys, don't think that we're trying to get you. We're here. We're doing a trading room. We're not there to pull wool over your eyes. So just come with good energy. We're not trying to pull a fast one on you and just get likes. We're here because we like being here, and we're giving accounts because we enjoy having people here, and we want to give people the opportunity. So there you go. We'll carry on from there.
I want to look at EU, specifically the setup that Victor shared, because I was looking at a very the very same setup, and then I want to move over to USD CHF. I want to talk about a low time frame setup that I think perhaps even Saul could agree with. We looked at. I remember. I think Victor, you looked at this level right here, right?
Let me open the screen a little bit
these
to
wicks,
see.
right?
Yes, that
interesting that we
Good.
had a.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Is that a reload zone for you? I wouldn't be
exactly.
surprised.
So putting the fib on from that high to this low area, that brings in the reload zone right here, and basically you have a signal. You have a signal here with the bearish candle with that big wick on the 5 minute, but the best signal would be that 5 minute bearish engulfing candle right there, and I think that would have been a similar entry and perhaps even similar stop loss to your setup. And what I like about this setup here on the lower time frames is the fact that if you go out to the 4 hour, we kind of had this strong move down on the 4 hour. And this level, we broke below this level, and then we kind of had multiple wicks on the 4 hour here, kind of trying to get above, but not really getting above, and then that big wick on the 4 hour. So we definitely had, we broke support to downside. We were using this level as support, and we have a good level down here at around the weekly and monthly open. So yeah, this happened. I believe this happened when I was having lunch and I got stopped out on GU. But yeah, that's a good entry right there. I think I quite like that. We have the high time frame confidence and the. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, at the risk of repeating this, we've been saying this so many times that you can have different approaches, but we're basically trying to the signals, they're telling us the same thing. Even though I'm using order blocks, you're using reload zone, and what that means is that both of those tools are ways to interpret price action, and we're both trading price action. And you can approach it from different angles, but it's the same story, the same narrative, the same price action. So that goes to say that it doesn't matter what your tool is, what your indicator is. It probably is going to. You don't have to have 10 indicators on. Just maybe 1 or 2, or maybe just structures, and that can already be enough. And there's another thing. If you could switch to my screen, there's another thing I want to point out for the viewers. We have, in terms of market structure, we have bearish, looking at the H4, we have bearish order flow, right? We have, if you look at this big handle, we had, this was after FOMC was going up, right? And there we had a outside candle. And from that moment, we have been having bearish order block until we got into this demand area, and now we are continuing with that bearish order flow. We got that bearish order block formed a couple of that was yesterday, and today, right now, as we started the session, we have another outside bar. So this tells me that the bears are in control on the H4. So what does that tell me? That if we have like that bar just formed and closed 25 minutes ago before our entries, our shorts. So now that we have that closed outside bar, we shouldn't be taking longs because there's let me put it this way: the probabilities of a long working now is very much against you, because you have this outside bar that is telling everyone that price is going to have an easier time going down than up. The only thing is, you might find, even on outside bars, because to me, this is an order block as well. So you might have, if you have like news or like a change in sentiment and price action, we might have a retracement going up to this order block as it continues on. That's the only thing that's possible. Other than that, it's going to go, most likely going to go down. At least that's what the market is telling us right now, unless it changes and, let's say, forms another outside bar but bullish. That could change everything again. But as of now, this is looking bearish, increasingly bearish. That's something I think is going to apply for the rest of the day for EU.
All right, interesting.
I'm always amazed like how we get into the similar conclusions or reading of what's going on in the market, but just from different understandings of
it's amazing because
or a different reading.
Yeah, I'm looking at Victor's charts and I'm like, there's a lot of order blocks right there. I don't really understand what's going on, but it definitely aligns with my analysis. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm also short bias on Euro USD. I mean, I don't use the order box terminology, but I see something similar that you mentioned, Victor. The fact that the market is struggling less when it's trying to go down than when it's trying to go long, and we see the selling pressure and the supply areas being stronger than the demand areas. So that also makes my all my analysis to want to go short, and yet now I need to find a good reason to short the market, and I'm not finding that. That's the only thing that's struggling me right now. I want to go short, but I'm not finding the right moment to do that. I mean, if we go, I'm on the 1 minute chart, and if we measure these last movements, they're just barely the whole impulse is around 4 pips. So there's not enough volume there in order to make profit for me. I would have to be taking the very top and entering and getting out the very bottom in order to make something. So I like the analysis and active bias. I'm just missing the volatility right now, or the volume in there. Like this range to be a bit wider so I can make money inside them.
I will show my setup for today. If this happens, this will be my signal to get in. If I may show, like
his signal,
what I just said,
not your signal, yeah. Education.
Yeah. Do not copy my. This is only for educational purposes, of course. Yes. But this is, you have an outside bar, right? And when the idea of order blocks is that when it forms an order block, that's the market telling us the direction it intends to go. But as the market doesn't go in a straight line, usually it comes back, retests the same structure before it goes that structure, or maybe a little lower, before it continues that continuation move. And if that is going to happen today, we don't know if that's going to happen today, but if it will, then this is the order block that was just formed. And if we go to lower time frames and we look for similar order blocks, and I know I have a couple of they're overlapping. Let me see if I can. You have on H2 as well, because it's obviously it made the same movement on the H2 and on H1. And if you measure, that would be my entry for where I'm going to look for my entry. So what I would be doing is I identify that area, and that would be what Saul just said. He doesn't find, you're not finding the reason. This is for me the reason to get in. When it comes back to that between those yellow lines, that's the area of value to me, because that's close to where I'm going to be wrong. And that gives me the opportunity to have like a tight stop, like I usually have, and get into the market. And if I go to the smaller time frames, the 5 minutes, if I look back, you have this order block on the 5 minute, and I have this one that was left behind. If for some reason, and you see those are the yellow lines, for some reason, if this were to if price were to come back, a bit unlikely, but if it were to come back, I will be waiting to get an entry, for example, in this time frame at this area, which is and have my stops right above it, or maybe above the whole structure, and target not only this low, but this is like a typical one, I could be targeting way lower because I have the outside bar on H4 behind me. So I could be targeting that low, or perhaps, depending on the time of the day, even much lower, and catch those big trades. But let's see what happens.
Well, let me.
Now, Victor, what happens? Okay, go ahead, Jonathan.
No, please, Saul, go ahead.
Victor, I'm curious. What if the market just never goes back to your order block? If it just continues down, so you just give up on the trade,
Nothing.
or you?
I don't trade it. That's my area, and then it's not my trade. If it continues from here and it doesn't give me a reason there, then it's not mine. It's someone else's trade, but not mine. And even though I know the direction, if I can define my risk the way I want, I don't have, I can't get in. I need a direction, plus I need an area where I can get in with a tight stop. And right there, it has a good chance of going up before continuing down, and stopping out before I'll be right, but I'll still be stopped out.
Correct.
So
you'll be right and lost money, which is the worst.
Yeah. That's when you get the frustration and the risk of getting on tilt and so on, right?
Saul, I would like to hear your views on EU. So I'm not sure if we looked at. I'm gonna switch over to your screen, if that's okay, Victor.
Euro USD, okay? Yeah, okay.
What are we looking at here? We're looking at EU. No, you looked at. Oh, it doesn't matter, because GU and EU looks very, very similar. But the structure that you're seeing right here on the 1 minute, you're seeing a consolidation here at the lower part of the screen, and then there's a lot of areas above. Would you be looking to long a move from that consolidation below to the area above, or would you be only looking for shorts from the area above?
I mean, if I go long, I'm just need to be mindful that I'm going against the bias, okay, that I made the analysis from. So I just take into account that maybe my win rate will be lower than expected, or something like that. But in this case, when I know I want to go short, but in order to go short, I need to wait for the retracement, correct? For the top of the resistance, or maybe for the order block, which is up here, the order block, the supply area that Victor mentioned. I could anticipate that movement, that retracement into that order block by going long right now. I'm placing my stop loss down here, and that's a great trade. I just need to be aware that I'm going against the bias, and that my probabilities of succeeding is lower. But as long as you know what you're doing and where's your risk and where you're wrong and where you get out of the trade, there's nothing wrong. I just for me to get into a A++ setup, I need to have my bias, my levels, the momentum, the setup, everything aligned. Okay, what's happening on my dailies, my hourlies, my 5-minute chart, and my execution chart, the 1-minute chart, align in the same direction. So if I go long right now, maybe I have the momentum or the setup right, but I'm going against my bias. So it's not a perfect setup. It's just an average setup that I can still make money out of. Just need to be aware of what you're doing on each scenario.
So the way I'm doing it is, if I'm taking a trade where I know this is not the perfect trade. I'm looking at the 4 hour, it's a downtrend, I get a long signal, and I'm feeling like, should I take this trade? Should I not take this trade? It's not a perfect trade. I know that the best thing to do for me is not to take the trade at all. But we all know that we're all humans. We do make those decisions where we go long in a downtrend anyway, when we're maybe not supposed to do so. And in a scenario like that, would you say that it's better to just decrease your risk?
If you're going to get in, absolutely decrease your risk, because you shouldn't be allocating the same risk to a perfect setup, to an A+ setup, which then you want to go full allocation to a weaker setup, or to a weaker setup. So you want to go maybe half of your risk or a quarter of your risk, just because if it go wrong, you just don't want to be fully allocated. That's it.
Yes, it does look like we're breaking down on EU, and I could see a a retest of the lows right there, the 1 minute lows of that range, a retest of that area down to. I'm not sure what's going on now though. This is it's the New York Open 6 minutes ago. Might have to do with that. Getting some increased volatility around the New York Open. I don't see any news event or something, but again, we're on the 1 minute. But there is across market. I do see some USD strength today. I don't know.
That might be a euro movement, because I don't see the same movement on pound or other assets. So that might be a euro mover.
You're right. I'm watching the others, and yeah, you're right. There's not a lot of. I want to just quickly break down a trade I took this morning on USD CHF, and please interrupt me, guys, whenever you feel like. If you do see
I'm sidelined. I don't think I'm getting into any trade anytime soon. Yeah.
If you do see an entry, and Saul, if you're entering anything, please let me know. Just interrupt me, no problem. I'll break this down. So on USD CHF. So again, guys, you usually see me look at the EU, but today I figured, you know what, like I want to make it more interesting in these live streams, because you guys are asking about many of these pairs. So I decided to add the majors, the 4 majors, and the well, I guess you could say the 7 majors, but I'd like, let's call them the 4 majors and the currency pairs. So I saw this morning I had a level here on USD CHF, so I just added a level here, and this level is based on just the fact that it's kind of like a level and a range on the lower time frames, and I view this as a break above the range. A very important part of this way of trading is this up here. Check that out. That is the ME indicator. One of the most important part of the trading arsenal here. Anyway, so we got that breakout. What I do here is we go into the 15 minute, and there's like, I want to see a move down here. If we get a move down here, that would mean that I would like to enter in that area. And I think you said once, Saul, that you like to see when the moves are quite strong going into your level, and then it's kind of like slowing down at your level, right? And so you have some time to kind of like, you want to see price reacting to that level. So on USD CHF, we get that move down. This is like, a lot of people ask me like, what's the picture perfect setup? And for me, it's price doing a break and retest of a high time frame level, and then on the lower time frames there's a W, and not only do you get a W, but you also get a break and retest of the neckline of the W. So again, remember, this is a level found at the 1 hour. We have a break and retest right here, and we go down into the 1 minute. Here you see price is reacting quite bullishly right here. You could have just gone in here as the first reaction is bullish, and but what we get here is actually a W. So we get in on we got the breakout above the W. If you put an entry order on that neckline of the W, stops below the W, and then what I do is I put a fib on this move, and I want to target the 0.618 right here. So 1.8 our trade, and this is, in my book, probably the picture perfect entry. When I find this, I can even increase risk. I very rarely increase risk, but when I find something like this, I tend to try to increase risk. So what happens here, and I'm going to put a level on these wicks so you can see how perfect this retest is. Comes down, retest entry. Oh no, it didn't retest it, but it was very, very close, right? So I actually did get in on, I believe, when he like broke above. But the idea is, you see the retest of that neckline area right here, and straight up to the 0.618. So in my book, this is a picture perfect setup, because it's also a 5-minute bullish engulfing candle. So you get that 5-minute bullish engulfing candle, and it breaks above the neckline, so it's confirmed on the 5-minute. And when that 5-minute candle is closing, you also form a W structure. So I think I would say if you want to try like back test this, take this pattern, you try to look at a high time frame level, and this is just a big wick on the hourly. Now, unfortunately, obviously, I should have kept this open because USD CHF just continued straight up, and this would have been quite the profitable trade. But if you guys want to backtest something, try to find break and retest just using price action, horizontal levels, and then look at the W structure and specifically the break and retest of that structure. It's surprisingly profitable. Well, maybe not profitable, but the entry trigger works very often. Now, of course, the profitability you'd have to play around with the stop loss placement and the take profit placement, but the entry trigger is very reliable, I should say. All right, let's see what's happening in EU. What I'm looking at on EU now, we broke. So I had two ideas. So first when you had this idea, this range right here, I kind of looked at the fib of this move for a move up here like this, and then I wanted to short that area above. But now that we got this move, if we go down to the 1 minute, I'm kind of seeing the same structure on the 1 minute where we might want to get in at around this area. So on the 1 minute, it kind of looks like we might have a good bounded retest here on that level. So if we do come up and hit that level with a confirmation of a bearish rejection, I might want to take a trade that might look something like this, depending on where the weekly open is. I think the weekly open is somewhere down around this area. All right, anyone else looking at that?
I'm liking pound dollar a bit better, just because there's a little bit more volume in it. Though the price action has been similar, but has a bit more volatility, and the ranges are a bit wider. So pretty much I would say the bias and the levels are similar, but I think the movement to the downside are being more contundent. So I'm just trying to join the downside on pound dollar better than euro USD.
And
that's the thing. It's not giving us any chance to get in, because I'm looking at getting in as well, and it's super annoying because it's just not.
There's better confluence on GU as well, because if you look at EU, you only really have this level, but then on GU, I see bigger. We have that reaction right here. We have kind of a strong bounce right here, and this tells me that the fact that we have that strong bounce, it kind of tells me that this level is important, right? We had multiple touches. We're like a 1, 2, 3, 4 touches and one big bounce, and it kind of tells me that this level is a good. But for TP and EU, I don't want it to go lower than the weekly open right here. So if I'm going to short that area, I'm not sure for me that it's worth the risk to reward. I'm probably only going to get like a 1.5 R on this trade. So if there's a possibility of seeing this move lower, which it definitely, we might even be taking it down to this level, that would be definitely worth it. So let's see if we do get a rejection here on the 1 minute. I think the fibs, maybe a hit of the 50%. What I'd love to see is a move up into this region right here, like a rejection up here, and I could probably look at that as a confirmation and then go long if we do get something like this. No, Saul, what are you looking at on GU?
I'm building a position on GU. So actually, I tried to catch the breakout, the breakout of the whole range. So you already marked it. We had one test, second test, and there was signs of a break to the downside. And I also think there's a possibility we continue lower towards those levels. So I entered a tiny position, just 0.2 to the downside. It looked like the breakout was about to happen. Of course, it's going now inside the range. So my next valid selling area would be this reaction here, this supply area. I'm waiting to see if the market goes there, how it's going to approach that area, and I'll be looking to short again. And for the whole setup, I think we have another nice selling area up here. With this one aligns with the one on the Euro USD with the level, and that would be the end of my setup. So I have 1, 2 other valid entry areas. If that breaks to the upside above that area, next stopping point is all the way up there. So I don't want to hold my trade for that long, to that far. So I'll be building short positions around these levels.
Right. So my short idea is confirmed here on the 1 minute. So I'm in a I'm taking this trade and I get a very tight stop loss. It's based on above your zone right there. So it's this one right here. So the fact that we did come up and we did test the 20 EMA and the 50% fib here. So I did enter on like when we had the first retest, and then I enter a little bit more slightly lower risk than usual because I got a tight stop loss. And I looked at your screen as well, and the fact that you're able to build, like, maybe we should talk about that, because the fact that you're able, like you're saying that you're building a position, and I'm in a trade, and my stop loss is yeah, that's right, Alex is on lunch mode.
Your stops are here about this area, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So when and the fact that what I find like not mind blowing, but like what's so different from the way I'm trading is your level above. Like you're just going to buy more when you reach that top level. You're not going to get stopped out, and like how do you calculate the risk in a situation like that? Like where do you exit?
So, I mean, if I want to just trade around this area like you're doing, I have to make my full commitment to this trade, okay, at this area. So I'll risk, let's say, my 1% here, and then I need to get out at the same level. Now, the fact that my stops will be all the way up there, what I'm going to do is risk, let's call it 0.5%, okay, half of the risk I'm willing to take down here, and the other 0.5% up here in case price goes to that level. So it's just, I don't want to be relying on this level to protect my trade. I think the whole setup is valid all the way up here. So instead of going full position down here, I'll do half position here and half position there, and then everything will break down if we break up to that level. So that's the only difference. I'll divide my risk.
So I don't really hear you talk about risk to reward ratio, and in my type of trading, I'm very, very focused on risk to reward. But do you care about that or
no, not at all? No, because I know if I have a good reaction here at the top level or even here, I'll be out of the trade even before the whole analysis of the market going down here happens. I'll be already taking profit. So I know I'm working with a negative or break-even risk-reward ratio, but the fact that I'm taking profits so often, I'm keeping my win rate high. So I compensate for my negative with risk-reward ratio. So I don't measure risk-reward ratio for each trade I take.
Yeah, I think it's like you said when you joined here in the beginning, it's very interesting to see how we all trade so differently, and I think that is a good example of this. But you do have a max loss on a trade, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you must, because otherwise, you will lose in one trade all the progress you make in your winning trades. So you have to limit your risk. Last week I ended up losing money here in the trading room. So you need to know how to shut down those trades, cut them, and to move on, leave another day to trade, and that's it. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the selling area. Now I don't like the fact that we're gaining momentum approaching to that area. Okay, so that I kind of know we're about to break that level. Okay, and unless we see here like a fake out to the upside or something like that. So I'm just entering with one position. Now if we go to the next level, I would like to see this market slowing down, and then I'll go big heavier at this level, and I'll hopefully the whole setup will be profitable. So I'll keep watching price action as we enter this final selling area, and then I'll decide how much risk I take, or if I need to take the full loss for the setup.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, did not work out very well for me, and I'm thankfully I took a low risk on this one. I'm watching the idea that you talked about as well. Getting in on that level above. I'm trying for me that would just not be a setup. Let's see how that works out. Because it looks right now like we are going to get a test of that area. So what you were looking at
on Livin. Sorry, mate. I'm just addressing this. Everybody would have got an email yesterday, or 3 days ago, whatever. If you got picked by Gleam, is it Gleam or Glim? Gleam, I think it's called. Gleam, you would have got an email, mate. So if you want to send me an email to alex@the5ers.com and I'll double check, but you would have got one if you got picked. Sorry, mate.
All right, we got a good question. What's your trading style called? Making money.
No, I think that it's a discretionary scalping approach. That's it.
No, it's definitely your all right, so got someone saying check the 1 hour or 30-minute time frame. Let's see, 1 hour. Yeah, this to me is like this. No way, I can't short this now. What if like this wick on the 1 hour, like right into this area, and it's like testing, it's a double bottom, testing the 0.618. Yeah, I mean below here, and that's the reason why I wanted to go short here, because below this level, yeah, to me that's bearish. But as long as we're above this area, I think we might see something like this, which is obviously goes against your idea, Saul. So I hope I'm right, obviously, but I mean I hope I'm wrong with that. But I do see that we. But right now, looking at price action is removing everything and just looking at price action. This is a bit messy, honestly.
If you don't know if it's long or short, best to sit on your hands and do nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I've just been eating. All these kids eating all these. Sorry, I was just all of these sweets we got in the office. I'm not surprised why kids are so hyper. Talk about sugar rush, man. All of these lollipops and all these cookies, man. There's so much sugar in this stuff these days. Crazy sugar rush. Anyway,
welcome back, Alex. Looks like you needed that much. Saul, you should buy him one of those candy, where you put in money and then you
mate. Saul's always got some kind of goodie or something next to his desk. I always go and I'm like, what's this? And then I start eating it. He's always got some cookie or something.
All right, man. It's let's see how. Well, of course it's gonna take out my stop and then it's gonna reverse. Well, this is my. Let's see. I'm gonna look at your screen, see what happens there.
Yeah. So I'll tell you what I'm seeing. Okay. So we're breaking down, then we slow down. You can see these two candles slowing down, and so I enter another trade, another short, which is just an attempt to get at a better entry point than the previous one, that this down here. So if I manage to get break even on this one, the lower one, I'll just close it because I'll keep my best entry. Okay, that's part of kind of the same level. But if it breaks to the upside, then I'll close this upper position. So I don't have to, to fix 2 trades. I'll take a tiny loss on this one, on the upper one, and then I'll leave my original trade open. So I'm kind of trying to balancing my entries to get my better entry point alive. And I don't know, just reading price action, trying to understand how it's going to unfold, and reacting accordingly. I mean, as traders, it's very hard to predict what's going to happen, but we need to react. And I don't get married with my trading or my analysis or anything. I just keep reading price action, keep reading and understanding the information the market gives me, and tuning my trading accordingly. So that's what I'm trying to do now.
I do think this is, if you're looking to get short, I think this is probably the only, relatively at the moment, this is not a bad place to get short.
Alex, do you think there's I think your mic is this a tiny small, not small, low volume. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody's ever talked about my mic like that before, but thank you very much. I will see.
I did say it's small, though. So I don't know what you're thinking about, but yeah.
Well,
Move on. You know what? I was about to say something before Alex starts talking about his mic, and now I'm thinking about. I'm not trading, obviously. Yes. Okay. So, is there any max number of positions you can have open at any given time? So, let me think about what I think your strategy might be. Like, you divide your decide risk, and you divide it up into small position sizes, and then you have a mental stop at this is the max number of lots I can have open.
Correct. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So for this, what would be because I see you have 1, 0.2, 1, 1. So what would be the max here?
I mean, the risk I trade on trading rooms is less than what I'm supposed to be trading. Okay, I'm trading undersized because it's just harder to me to be multitasking and manage, doing everything at the same time. But I'm just trying to show the process, and then I do exactly the same, just heavier. Okay, so ideally you go and you calculate how much you want to risk. Okay, let me. I'll take this one off now for a small loss. Ideally, you calculate. Okay, what's the risk you want to take, and then you divide it by your. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking what I'm thinking. Also, I need to react to the selling area. But let's say if you measure your distance to your stop loss and your account size, and you understand you need to be risking in order to risk 1% of the account, you need to trade 10 lots. Then you take maybe 5 lots down here, 5 lots up there, or 3 lots down here, 7 lots up there. So that's kind of the principle of things. I just on the trading rooms, I trade less aggressive and with less sizes, just because it makes it easier for me to manage while I'm, we'll do all these conversations and managing and everything. But I do the same process just with larger lot sizes while I'm off screens.
Yeah, that makes sense. It does add, it does add a new layer of focus when you're having conversation and trying to especially when you have so many positions open and you're trading very discretionary, and you look at the level and you have to be laser focused on what's happening, and again, you're on the 1 minute here, and things are moving quite quickly on
ideally you want to stay focused, you want to be managing properly, so that's why I just trade slower. So you see this, how this candle touched the selling area and reacted. So that's kind of my first sign of, okay, there might be a slowdown movement, there might be a reaction to the downside. So I enter a little bit. Now, if I get another movement to the upside, but yet no continuation, no follow through, no nothing, I might add into this position. Okay, so I keep reading the information the market gives me, because sometimes you get this reaction and then follow through to the downside. So you don't want to miss out on that movement. Sometimes you get that and it gets invalidated only in the next candle or so you get the confirmation, so you keep adding. So the way I trade, I just slowly build into my entries. That's the idea. Okay, so you see that was a very strong bullish candle. You see the reaction to the downside. We saw it just in front of our eyes. It was a strong bullish candle, rejected. So I entered because there might be the follow through right after that. So as I get these signs of confirmation, I add into my position.
I'm thinking about. I'm gonna trying to speak. I'm gonna open a position on maybe a small position on USD CHF because the trend is quite strong, and we had a retest, a good looking 15-minute retest on USD CHF. So I'm going to switch over to my screen quickly right here. So I entered on the retest of the, basically it's a similar setup as before, where you had that move up and then a move down reaction, and then you had another strong move and a retest of this area below. And then on the 1 minute, you had a pretty good reaction with if I'm looking at this as the downtrend, then we had a break of structure here, and I'm thinking that this is the new uptrend. And I just wanted, like, this is just a quick trade up to this level. If you look at the 5 minute, you have an area up here. So I just want to take this trade up to here, and I do suspect that that's going to be the reload zone of that move as well. So if you put a fib from that high to that low, yeah, well, not really, but I think it makes sense from price action structure. Now, what I'm thinking about this as well is the fact that this 2-hour trade could have been a 4-hour trade. I'm thinking, are we going to see something similar? What?
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, shouldn't. It was a good trade.
I know, man. But if I switch templates here to I don't know which one, like maybe
heavy reaction on pound.
I mean, I do kind of like that one, just for price to create a new high. But what? Yeah. I think I'm gonna put my TP up here, and I'm gonna be looking for this to make a new high. And when we hit this level, if I do get a very bearish reaction, like we come lower, yeah, maybe just close it in for a small profit. But I think there is a possibility here that if we do break here, we're going to create a new high, just like so we have this structure. We'll see.
Okay, so we got the reaction. Yeah, we got the reaction. So I closed. I ended up taking three positions, three trades at the top. So I took profit on one. So let me just show you the history for today, for this session. Okay, so this trade is the second trade, the trade I took down, back here. I closed it for a loss, and just with one of these profits, I compensated for that. So I kind of break even for that one, and now I'm holding two trades down here, one trade now down here, and this is just a very small trade, so it's not even affecting my whole trade. So I think this is a good example of the power of breaking your trades, because such a small movement in your favor just will compensate for the losses you had previously, or will make it for to fix your trades, or that's the whole idea. Now what I'm expecting is not a break to the upside. After this reaction, I need to remind myself that this is a new valid selling area. So a retest of this selling area is something that needs to happen. Just like this retest and continuation, we might now have a retest of the selling area and the continuation lower. So I need to be calm when this goes kind of to my break-even or to my entry area, because that retest of my entry area is a natural thing to happen. So as long as we respect that area and we continue lower, we're good. If it breaks higher, if we break higher, higher from this pivot point, we'll most likely continue all the way to my stop loss. So now that is my new stop loss area. So now I can bring my stop losses, down or lower and decrease the risk I'm taking on the trade.
Wow, crypto's all red as well across the board.
Well, I am long USD, so I'm really rooting for you here, man. I am really, really hoping that this trade goes your way.
Yeah, and it's not, not a big deal. I already managed to reduce exposure, right? I already compensated my first tiny entry. I took a little bit of profit, so I'm kind of break even now, and I'm well positioned. I mean, if I had everything, if I had my entry levels, that's a great. I'm taking the trade at the very top of the range. So as a isolated setup, I'm very well positioned. I'm happy with this, with the setup. Of course, the outcome of the trade might be a negative trade, a losing trade, but the setup is there. The setup is fine. My max allocation is at the very top of the range. So what I'm expecting now is a reaction to that level, to the downside. So I'm fine.
Maybe I can show my screen, and this goes to the same thing we mentioned before, where you're going short, Saul, and I'm looking. Of course, I know that this reaction has a good probability of a continuation. I suppose that's what you're looking for, right? Or are you just trading the range?
I'll be out before the range breaks to the downside. I will not be waiting to see if there's a break to the downside.
Okay. Well, but I suppose you're short because of this bigger movement, right? Because
Correct.
You think it's likely to go right. Okay, so I do see that bigger movement, and I know that there is that possibility. And if I go to the lower time frames, I have reasons because of those order blocks to look for a long still. And what's very very interesting is where you said your trade will be invalidated, right, when it makes a higher high, because that changes your structure, and that's a break to the upside. That's the same area that I would be needing. This is a 15-minute chart, but that's the same area that I would be needing to form a reversal pattern. So what we are doing the same, trading the same pair with opposite direction, and we're looking at the same thing to either invalidate your short and validate a possible long for me. Because if it breaks up here, then I get that quasi, which I'm going to be looking to get in here. So it's kind of the same. We're reading from opposing direction, but we're basically looking for the same thing to happen to either invalidate or validate our thesis. It's cool.
Absolutely. But just don't tell me you're looking to go long, Victor. I thought we were aligned on directions.
Well, the thing is, I'm looking on the higher time frames. Yes, I want to be short because we have a fresh order block here, but I also know that we also have a H4 here. Although that this is not as fresh, but I know from order blocks that this can have a move up before it continues lower, and that's what this trade is. I'm not going to hold this for very long, but if it signals from here, then I can go in long in anticipation for that short that might be coming on later, like in hour or 1 hour or two, or maybe later today. So it's yes, I have that short bias, but in between I can still go long because I understand that there is a chance that it might pop a little bit.
Gotcha.
All right, so I've
Do you want to do it? Should we do a 10-minute break? Obviously, it's 4 o'clock. Victor will be leaving us, unfortunately. Are you good for? Do you guys want a break, or are you guys good?
I'm just trying to manage some positions here.
I'm also in the trade, so
Yeah.
I can't really
I'll
leave.
I'll go and quickly. I'll be back in a minute. Then. I'll see you guys in a bit. Just gonna have a
Go
quick,
ahead.
get coffee quickly.
I'm currently in. So I'm short here EU. So this is a signal. I've been testing these signals on EU, and I'm been getting fairly good results with these. I like the fact that TP is done at the monthly open. So I'm taking that trade, and because of the fact that I got a clean signal on EU, I closed half of the USD CHF trade here at entry. So the USD CHF trade is now half risk, while the EU short is full risk. And if EU is going to come lower, I need to close USD CHF because these are at this point USD CHF. I don't know why it's not loading, but these two are very correlated to each other. So you'll see a pump on this one, and you look at the local price action on EU and USD CHF. What's USD CHF? What's the short way of saying it? Like EU, UC? We don't say UC.
Dollar
It's
Swiss.
like saying U.
I don't know if that's
Dollar
shorter,
That,
but
that's
Swiss, yeah.
that's better. Oh, it's pumping. All right. So what's happening with EU now? All right. So I'm gonna close. Yeah, I'll see what price does here, but obviously EU is probably gonna move higher. We got the Swiss knife is it's like a delicate dance on a very, very fine line across a canyon here, and if a small mistake will destroy me is what I'm feeling right now. Depending on what this 5-minute candle is doing, if this 5-minute candle can't close below the 50% fib, if I can't get it, if this candle won't move lower, then I will close this, and hopefully we'll see that USD Swiss whatever move higher. USD CHF. Let's see. I hate being in two correlated assets like this, negative correlated. It's just not.
It messes up with your mind, right?
Profit. What?
It messes up with your mind.
Yeah, it does.
Oh yeah, definitely. So EU down, USD CHF up. Logic is not with us today, but I don't care because I'm in profit on both. So let's see. We get a level here on USD CHF right now. So if we can reclaim that level, I'm all good. However, we get above that level, and we're probably going to see EU move to the upside. So in 1 minute, we have the 5-minute candle looking good. One of them has to die though. Like they can't both live. Like this is a fight for death, right? Like that we're watching right now. One of them is gonna fall, and we're gonna see them like fall down into the canyon and like splash like a potato. And I think that's gonna be USD CHF. This there's I just feel like there's lots of room to the downside here. So we'll see what happens.
Since today is the last session of this week, live trading room. Maybe I want to show right now or later, like a swing trade setup that I'm looking at on EU. I think
Go ahead.
it is on EU. Yes. Yeah. Should I do it now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just a bit,
all right, so,
focused on these two here. Yeah, you'll take over.
Yeah. let me get this. So on the bigger time frames, we had this is on the daily, right? So this is a swing move, right? We have this bigger structure, Quasimodo, and we had that reaction of this order block, that daily order block. That's the reaction, that's the signal. We had actually a second signal. So based on these signals, I could be looking for an entry there and targeting some structure below us all the way to the swing low. So we do have a short signal. So what is happening now, our expectation of price going much lower, that fits in with that setup. However, there is also a long setup on EU. If you look at the same time, if you look at this, you can find that the same. There is a long Quasimodo as well, right? Those are the lower highs, the lower lows, and then it goes, breaks that neckline, and right now we are in that area, that daily entry order block. We still need to wait for it to finish either today or perhaps tomorrow as an engulfing. So I have that at the back of my head that this could, today, tomorrow, maybe Friday, there could be a long signal on the daily. And with that, and if I do get that signal, my target will be destructured, this one, or maybe the other order block, or maybe the whole movement all the way up to this swing high. So if I have that in my mind and I go to the lower time frames, I also find that there is not the bigger, I hope you guys can follow me, not this bigger move quasi, but there is another H4 quasi in here. If you can follow me, I can show you. You have a succession of, well, that's not correct. Let me get that out of the way. We have a succession of lower highs and lower lows as it is forming that low, and then it moves out. That's the neckline. Lower highs, lower low, neckline goes all the way up, and comes back to, you guessed it, another order block here on the H4. So it makes sense on the daily to go long as well, or to look for a long on the H4, I mean, right? So that's separate from the daily. And if you look, we did have a signal, a rejection within this. This is the entry order block for that bigger H4 quasi, and we did get that signal that was on at the beginning, on Monday, the beginning of this week. And what are we doing right now? We are coming all the way back after that move, after that that impulsive move outside of that gave us that signal. What are we doing now? We're coming all the way back to retest possibly the same order block, right? If you can manage to get a trade within a trade, and even though we don't have the daily signal yet, but by the time this moves out, based on this order, this setup, my targets could be at least up to here, right? By the time it gets to my target, I might have a daily signal as well, in which case I can hold the trade all the way up, potentially all the way up to that target. And that's something I'm going to be watching this week. So something, and of course, if you guys have seen me before, I will be trying to catch it from the 1 minute or the minutes in any case. So I will be catching something. I will try to catch something here with a tight stop, up perhaps 10, 5, 8, whatever the structure allows me. And I will be targeting that high or some other structure, maybe that, or maybe some other structure, and waiting, hoping that perhaps while I'm in the trade, the daily also triggers. And if that happens, then I can target all the way up, maybe not complete the whole position. I will take partials, but I can target something like this for a gigantic move. It doesn't happen very often, and it has a very, very, very low win rate. But that's the idea, to have at least like maybe 25%, maybe 50% of your trade going all to that TP.
So a short update on my battle here between Switzerland and or the greater European continent and the Americas is that we it looks like we have a draw. I don't know what the hell is going on, but I went from being like, but this one almost hit my stop right there, and then USD CHF, like it's what's going on here. This makes very little sense. Now, however, the Swiss franc must be quite correlated to EU. I know it's quite complicated with that currency. But I mean, yeah. So anyway, so what I do when I have correlated assets like this, which is fairly new to me because I have a rule that says like don't take correlated trades basically. So if I have two setups on any pairs that are correlated with each other, I choose the one that just feels best, looks best. But when I do take trades like this, I divide risk up in between them. So that's both of these trades are half an hour risk. So if I normally risk 1%, both of these are 0.5%. Looking at EU, if we can come down and like take out these. Now the problem here is, you know, I traded that rejection, and now we're like above this level again. So what I'm seeing now is like a sort of a deviation below the range and maybe a fake out. So now the trade that I'm in is absolutely not the same trade that I entered, which is a reason to exit the trade. But then if you look at like, yeah. Yeah. This is finding
What does your
finding a lot
trade
of
plan
reasons
say?
to do. I don't know, I'm finding a lot of reasons to do a lot of stuff. Which
You're
usually-
getting into analysis paralysis.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not looking at the chart. I'm like, yep, all right. This is let's see. But I usually like the trades where, well, everyone likes those types of trade, but I feel like the best trades are, or the ones where my best trades and most of the good winners are when you have an immediate reaction to the level that I want to buy. So you see price comes down and it kind of slows down, you enter, and then it immediately starts moving in the right direction. Usually I see that when this happens, it's kind of like it's going down, it's pausing, and then goes down again. So we'll see. I do feel like there's too many 5-minute candles here because I entered this trade mainly based on that pin bar. That pin bar right there told me that, you know, you came down and you grabbed some buy orders here and then started moving higher. And now it's kind of like retracing that move. But the good thing is when you're using low risk and when you're kind of like taking the trades with lower risk than usual, when you're not really 100% sure of the trade, it's like you're okay with getting stopped out. I think that's very important to like risk the amount that you're comfortable losing. We got a question here. How do you avoid analysis paralysis? I guess the answer here is just you can do a lot of analysis.
It is a tough one because, you know, when you start screening or scanning all the markets, you start looking for reasons to go long and short on all the, you know, on all the assets, and your brain kind of tries to justify why to go long or why to go short on each scenario. So what works best for me is to try to be more focused on one pair and understanding the dynamics of the single of that assets, and also understanding what is moving the pair you're looking for. Because sometimes, okay, and previously on the session we had a good example of that. We saw a movement on Euro USD, and we could have thought it was a USD mover, but it was the Euro moving the Euro USD. So it wasn't a USD mover, a movement. So trying to understand across the different pairs which currency is actually causing the movement you're seeing on the chart. Many times the USD is the reason, but sometimes that misalignment, sometimes because of the pound does the movement, or the euro does the movement, or the yen does the movement, it might make it very confusing and complicated. So then you want to go to check other pairs, yen to other things or pound to other things to understand which asset is actually causing the movement you're seeing, and that will clear out your image a little bit more. So I think that's a good thing to do, to understand what is causing the movement you're looking for.
Yeah, and I think analysis paralysis often happens when you're in a trade and when you're looking for reasons to stay in a trade, or you're looking for reasons to exit a trade. So if you do get analysis paralysis when looking at a trade, when asking like, should I enter this trade or not, that's a reason not to enter. Because if you do feel like you're all over the place, all over the time frames, and you're not really sure if you're supposed to go long or short, like Alex said before, he said like, if you're not sure what direction to go, like, don't take the trade. And what I'm thinking is like, what I just did on EU is like, I'm taking this trade based on what I'm seeing right here. I didn't look at I don't know what I took the trade based on the 5 minute, and that's it. I did not involve the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15 minutes. So when I go out to the 1 hour and I'm like, oh, that's great, I'm going short at support. That makes no sense on the 1 hour, but on the 5 minute, it makes sense. So if I keep switching back and forth between timeframes when I'm in a trade based on the 5 minute, either you exit that trade because you made a mistake and not looking at the other timeframes. But if you are only trading on the 5 minute, you stay with that trade. And then after the trade is done, you reevaluate. Should I look at the 1 hour next time? Because I think a lot of mistakes happen after we enter the trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trader Dante always says, like, trading is all about entering the trade and not fucking up, like between entry and profit, entry and exit. That's all trading is. You find a setup, you enter that trade, and your job is then to not most of the time not touch it. Now, of course, if we're trading like you are, Saul, that would be catastrophic.
Yeah, I disagree. I would have to disagree. Yeah. No, also because
hoping for the best.
Because many times at the moment you find a setup, you enter because of a reason you find in the market, and then if you keep watching and things happen that might give you a different version of the story that you thought could happen in the first place. So you do want to be aware. You do want to be aware of what's happening in the middle of your entry and either your stop loss or take profit. But I guess it's also related to your personality and the trading style you're using. I know for me that doesn't work. I do want to be managing my trades, and I do want to be adding, reducing. It just better works for me.
Yeah. What if I may give an advice how to deal with analysis paralysis? Is we all suffer from that at some point, or we still do from time to time. My answer to that is to use less discretion in my trading and more rule-based trading, more mechanical. So you need to start trading, or you need to have data, and you need to have a concept and a strategy. And once you have data, you can build those rules. Okay, I'm only going to enter if this happened and that happened, A, B, C, and D. And if they don't happen, and those rules need to be as objective as possible, not discretionary. But when those things happen, you just enter. You're not there to analyze if I should or shouldn't. You already agree that you are going to enter if A, B, C, and D happens. And when you have that, you eliminate that discretion, that doubt, that it doesn't depend on you anymore, because your strategy, your trade plan, whether if it's profitable or not, doesn't matter. But your trade plan will dictate when and where you need to enter. And with the same thing, you do that with your entry, you do that with your stop, and you do that with your TP. Of course, not everything can be rule-based. And sometimes there's still a little bit of discretion in there. But to me, to objectify all the actions that you do in your trading session, that, and make it as rule based as possible. That's to me, that's my answer, my solution to be beat analysis paralysis, right? So doing it rule based, more rule based, if possible completely rule based, completely mechanical. And that's why I like I know I'm talking about my own strategy, but that's why I like order blocks, because there's at least I have a objective way of what is an order block, and you may not agree with me, or you may have a different one, but it doesn't matter. But to me, I know what is and what isn't an order block, and it doesn't depend on me to take the long or the short, or to look for to take the entry or not. It depends on those rules I have agree with myself, that I'm going to take these signals. I'm going to, if the H4 does this, the H2 does that, and the H1 does this, I will take the entry, or I will do the next step in my trade plan. I'll go to the minutes and wait and look for this structure. So it's to me, it's and once I get the signal, there's nothing for me else to do. That's my job. My job is not to doubt the signal. It's just to execute it. And that's what works for me, and maybe that works for others as well.
I think you're absolutely on point there. I mean, if you do have a system, and by the way, I'm stopped out on both of the trades here. So I did think that they were inversely correlated, but I'm happy that I risked half a percent on each. So I'm down on both of these setups, down 1R. So not really a huge loss, even though it's two losers. And anyway, so what you're talking about is like you're having a systematic approach, but it's to create a technical system like you have. It is very hard. It requires a lot of time, a lot of back testing, a lot of statistics gathering, and it's really, really difficult. And a lot of people, I think, they stick to discretionary trading, not only because it's fits their trading style and personality, but also because I think a lot of people don't really they don't want to invest that type of time into creating a trading system. But I do think everyone should at least try, come up with an idea and test that idea and try to get some statistics on how that's working. But because if you do have a technical, like a systematic way of trading, that's going to help you immensely with most of these problems. Like with my swing trading system, I've managed to create a very very systematic way of trading. But for the last 6 months or so, the signals, I don't know if it's because we're moving from it seems like we're moving from a high interest environment. We're probably seeing a cut in interest rates. We're seeing a different macro landscape at this point as compared to what we saw the previous, I guess, 2 years or so. So that's also a thing. Like you have to adapt to what the market is doing. Can change your system if you have to. So, Victor, how long have you been trading your system?
About 3 years now, and I'm still perfecting it. I need to evaluate and see if I have to change or adapt the rules. But about 3 years now, and it's a gradual process where I see that the market is doing what the structures tell me that it should be doing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you will get profits or even that you get signals, but the market is reacting on those structures you identified beforehand. And that gives me the sign that I needed to continue doing that. And slowly I started getting consistency, and I'm still working at it. I still need to improve my psychology. Like today is a great day. I had as I said, -6, -7 I think while I had almost 15 plus, And right now I had an entry or a setup in GU, but it never signaled, or it hasn't signaled yet. And it is exactly now that I need to, be not have a trigger finger and not chase and say, well, I want to, that 15 R was mine, and it's, I'm entitled to that 15 R, and I need to get that by the end of the day, because if I start doing that, the market doesn't care about me and my needs and my errors. The market will do whatever it's going to do anyway. So I need to keep my head level, and those are the things that I think as a trader you need to keep on working, even after years. I suppose it's not gonna, it's an ongoing thing. But 3 years to be exact with your question, 3 years now that I've started, not that I have been trading completely the way I'm trading now, but 3 years I've been developing this way of approaching the market.
Yeah, so as you see, Saul left. He had to go to a meeting. And now Alex is gone as well. Now there is.
No, do you want to reset the charts? Because I don't know why mine doesn't work. You've got the layout, the better layout. No, the other three. There you go.
Yeah, let's go with that. Oh man. Oh,
Yeah,
wow, it's long session. Didn't even have a break.
Yeah, GU's GU had a nice push up. I did, when Saul was talking as well, I was short, and it broke a little bit of inner structure. So I am long. I'm looking to get out at the 15 EMA on the 200 EMA on the 15 minute, which is just a few pips away. But
yeah, that's looking like a good move. I've been trading.
Maybe you can show my screen, and I can show the setup that I didn't get the signal on. There you go. So even though I have we have that fresh order block on the, let's say, on the H4. Let me get that. We have this. I don't have it. I didn't have it on. Oh yeah, I do have it on. Let me take it off. This is the H4 that was freshly made, right? So I know that the market wants to go lower, but we also had a bullish that is still active. So I know that when price gets in here, that it might have a push up, even with the formation of this H4. So you have opposing setups, and that's fine. I take both of them. So when that's the H4, I go to the H1, as I said at the beginning, and I've identified an area on the H1 as well, that where the market could have some reaction. Now the market did have these pins that squeezed, in my terminology, squeezed this H1, but in the end it never closed below that. So to me, in my rules, this H1 is still valid. So then I go and look for that. That's a reason for me to go long, or to look for a long setup. And if I go to the lower time frames, you can see that the market did form that. There was a neckline here on M3 and M1. And there is another one. Let me see. It's the M5 as well is here. This is the 50-minute quasi, which I don't trade. And I didn't get the setup. The market did do this. Let me mark this. The market did do this, right? And it moved out, activated the quasi, but has not come back to these entries. And sometimes that happens. The market doesn't always reverse in quasis. So and I didn't get a signal. And so I have the losses of today. And when I am trying to get the signals on time, not missing them as this morning, and it's not signaling. So yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. But I know that this setup cannot hold very long. So I should not. This is like a window of opportunity, because we do have this H4 here, and once it forms an engulfing and a bearish reaction, bearish order flow, I should not. My guess is that setup is not going to work anymore. So this is like a short-term move to this area, because in the end, the H4 order flow is still quite bearish, as we saw on EU and in GU. that it also even formed an outside bar on EU. Outside bars are very, very powerful. So that's a powerful signal that market wants to go lower, and probably lower than it has gone up to now. So yeah, I was expecting a little pop in GU, and I may have missed it, and that's how it goes sometimes.
Wait, Jonathan, where is everybody disappearing? What is going on? I lift up my head, everybody's gone. Gosh.
One of the days we're all gone.
I'm just there, gosh. Well, yeah, it's been quite a tough trading day. I'm not gonna lie. It's been quite interesting. I'm probably gonna end up the day break even at the moment.
You're good.
No, so I did lose. Break even. Yeah, some of us are gonna be a little bit in losses, but it's just one of those, obviously we had these really nice trades and this really nice price action. Now we've also had this. I got into, where's the position I got into? So that was the first position that we took the loss on. We were up in some really nice profits. And then this is the second position we just had that loss on, because I was looking to continue out from here, take the fib, and I got in after we saw this area. Now, the reason why, looking back in hindsight, maybe that wasn't the best idea, is because it already actually broke a little bit of structure. It broke structure, and then it held the structure, and it just came down and just basically just took off. But we can't have biases, so that's why broke the EMAs. Looks like it was going to push up, so we got in on a 50 fib and an EMA, and now it's pushing up. So maybe we can get back to break even.
Is that account the one that you were trading before?
No. So this scaled in the end. Yeah, it scaled.
Oh, okay. Because I said 133.
Yeah, no, you sent me a message. You were like, "Oh, why isn't your account scaled and stuff?" And I had a bit of a problem with it, so Neil sorted it out, and then it just automatically scaled after that. But I did take.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I was a little bit. When you get a new account and you are a little bit aggressive to start off with.
Yeah.
So yesterday I was quite aggressive with it. I had some few losses. I've only had one winner in this account so far, which is quite bad actually.
It's all too familiar. When you get a fresh account, you normally very often you go into drawdown right away before you start, trading well again and make it up.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I always say to people, warm up the account. Shame I don't take my own advice, But
that's same here, man. If I would take my own advice, would be more profitable, to say the least.
Yeah. See what this is doing now.
We had that. I know it's off topic, but we had that topic pending on Monday. What is your guys' idea or opinion on that crypto project? How it's called again? Pi Network. First, let me tell the viewers, for those who don't know what it is. From what I understand, it is an app. It's a crypto, not listed yet, and it's an app that has supposedly some case uses or some uses, but you're supposed to enter every day and click on a button, and that is what they called mined. I never understood what happens when you click, but according to the project, you click every day and you gain some crypto coins, and the idea is, of course, that at some point they're going to list it and you are able to sell those coins. But what is that's the introduction. What is your idea, Alex or Jonathan, or both of you?
Well, to be honest, it's not something I ever got into, and this is when we find out that Victor is actually the founder of Pi. This is the time.
Yeah. So the thing is that product is most likely going to be down 99% 3 months
have a look.
after launching. That's
No, let's have a look.
that's crypto. The
No, I remember
products that
friends
come-
telling me about it, and they were pressing on that. They were logging into their phone every day to get this to get these whatever.
So
it
Victor,
was.
you're not very interested in crypto, are you?
No, not really. I never got that crypto bug, crypto fever.
So this is a good example. You know, I have a crypto product that kind of spills into mainstream, and so probably what's going to happen is, first of all, there's probably a lot of you need to first look up like what's the pre-sale, how many got into the pre-sale. That's basically it's almost like an IPO, you know, but people can get into the IPO before it gets listed. And so usually these products have deals with the big influencers, and a lot of these products, they don't announce how much they sold to who and what the conditions are for the pre-sales. So for example, a big holder could be getting in on a very, very good price. So let's say somebody gets to buy this at 20 cents, right? And then it gets listed for $1, and they're up a huge amount. And there's a lot of hype around this product. So people, they start market buying at $1. This guy who bought at, who's up like 4 times or 5 times already, he's selling everything he has. And basically and everyone's who got into the pre-sale starts dumping their coins on the market, which just completely destroys it. And that's usually why you see these crypto products that are super hyped, and they're down like 99% after a couple of months because there's just too much selling. And so it's important to see, like, if you really like a crypto product, you have to look at the pre-sales conditions, and how much pre-sale, what's the conditions for the pre-sales. Because I've been, I'm getting offers like this in every bull market. I'm getting a lot of offers like this. Crypto products coming out and saying like, I'm going to pay you 1-2 ETH to promote this, create a video on this, and then we'll let you buy this product for a pre-sale price, which is basically almost that they're basically almost confirming that they're going to list it much higher than what I get to buy it for. So
you think it's a model to gain a gain model?
Well, I've been heavily involved in crypto products since 2017. I've been doing influencer job for several companies and products that seem super legit. And I'm telling you, like, crypto is mostly a pump and dump. The only real currency, or the only real crypto that really has value, I would say, is Bitcoin. Is Bitcoin and perhaps Ethereum, because Ethereum does obviously have a use case. It's the first with the first blockchain with the smart contracts that kind of like started everything. But Bitcoin and Ethereum are like the only ones with a use case.
No, you can look at others as well. You've got VeChain as well, that has got use cases with tracking orders, tracking orders for retail businesses and loads of different things, tracking.
VeChain is actually one of those coins where you have a solid uses, and LinkChain is also a big product. Like, so there are of course good products out there, especially LinkChain and VeChain. Those are good examples of good products, but it needs to be launched. It needs to be in the markets for like a couple of years, I would say, before we can really see if the product is valuable or not, if they have a working product. Most of these cryptos are just ways for the founders to make quick money. It's still kind of like the Wild West of finance. So yeah,
go Alex, your TP is almost hit.
Yeah, but we got some resistance here. This is a 15-minute resistance, 200 EMA. So what we
Okay,
could
are you
see,
thinking of
we could-
pulling the trade?
I was going to see if I'm going to push through, but we'll see what's going to happen. I do think it is going to push through eventually. So we may see just a little bit of a rejection and then another push through. After we've got such a big leg, we've taken all of this liquidity. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back and tries to take at the top. So I'm not too worried about this 15 EMA. And let's just see what happens. That's an okay of Alex. I really do think you should pull the trade right now, but we're going to wait and see what happens. That was that kind of okay right there. We're going to see what happens.
No. I it's not my trade, so it's and I didn't get my signal. So if I had my signal, I could tell you where I would have my TP, and you could adjust or not.
Yeah,
but since I don't have a
would you say your TP would be to this box here, really? No, this thing, this you call that.
If I had a signal, which I didn't, but if I had, my TP would be
but this is actually pretty much at the top of this range as well. Got ourselves a little bit of a range.
If I had with the idea, well, the thing is, my bias for today is bearish, even though I have a setup, a bullish setup, and I would take it if it signals, but I have a bias that this is probably not going to go much further because of that H4 which we freshly formed. So I try not to think that it's going to go all the way to the top. That's one thing, and for sure not beyond that, because that, to me, that would be like a lower probability TP. So I need to find something within that H4 that could be a TP. And your TP, if I were you, I like on the 15-minute, based on the 15-minute, I will put it like 1 pip below where you are right now, based on the 15-minute H order block. But I mean, yeah, you do have an H1. You do have an H1 order block. I also. So one of the rules for my FTA is look at H1, the next H1 order block in the opposing direction, right? So, and we already are touching it. So it's a balancing act. That's where the discretion comes in. But here you are already encountering some resistance, so it wouldn't be bad to take it off. But yeah, those are mine. And the other thing is you could look at the ATR on 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
The ATR on 1 hour is 12 pips, and you can measure this hour how far it's gone. Right, so that could give you an idea. Okay, is it probable that's going to happen this hour, this candle, right? If it's run a lot, you could say, okay, it's 16 right now, right? If I'm not mistaken.
When you're taking the ATR, you take it from the wicks, you don't take it from the bodies.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not from the bodies, because it's the complete range of that candle. And the ATR currently is showing us let's see, it's right now it's showing 12.3 on the 1 hour, and the current candle is 16. So it's actually within this hour, it already surpassed its average ATR. Doesn't mean it can continue, because let's say in 5 minutes it's going to have another candle.
For me that indicates that's good though. If we're seeing it's higher than its average range, we're seeing a lot more volume come in.
Yes.
So to me that is positive.
Yeah.
But Alex, you got to remember, you're trading like a price structure that you're trading. I mean, I know you're looking at this and saying like, this is not the trend that I'm long. You know what I mean? Like, you're no longer seeing the higher highs and higher lows. You're now in a like that local range, and I think that's why you're a bit skeptic, right?
Yeah, we're just seeing if we can push it a little bit more. That's all.
Because what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing, and I think you're gonna agree with me here. What time frame are you on there?
I'm
1
on the
minute.
I'm on the
Okay.
1 minute. I'm about to add an extra 10 lots.
Okay, so look at this. This is what I'm seeing, right? And it's kind of like it's playing out right now. We have sort of like this structure, right? And it's kind of like you could say that's the high, right? But now, you know, we got this. So I'm seeing this, you know, something like this.
But that's on the 1 minute though. I would if I want to know what my probabilities are of something being hit, I would start with the higher time frames, because on the 1 minute I could get all kinds of structures, and I'm gonna be paralyzed by that analysis if it was me. If you look at
But
your
then on the
screen
1
right
hour,
now,
on the
exactly.
1 hour, this is
I
this is a
have an
wick
order
line,
block there.
right?
That's an
This is
H1 order block.
Yeah.
So, if you could show my screen, I'll quickly say what I see. And all right, so we have the fresh order block. This is the H1. Let me start on the H4. Okay, H4 we don't have anything, but on the H2 we are already in that fresh order block. That we might be. Look at that. Look at this. So this is the movement. It moves out of it, forms that order block, and comes back to retest it. And there's very, very difficult to say how far deep it will penetrate this. It will retest this order block. If you go to the 1 hour, you also have that order block right there, right? That this is the order block on the 1 hour. It formed it, went back, and it's already come back to retest it. So to me, I try not to make a guess how deep it goes in, because sometimes it doesn't go even by a lot, only a little bit. And if I go to the lower time frames, okay, you have this order block on the 30 minutes where, okay, it could go up to there. And on the 15, you have this order block, which is your TP. So I think your TP is great based on the M15. And I don't think you use the order block, but I think it's great there. The only thing is, it is within the H1 already, and
the way that I would look at it is, you know, you've got a 15-minute EMA that is, you know, we're already showing quite a lot of strength. That is the only thing. But normally, if you're gonna hit, yeah.
Guys, I think it's time to prepare for the giveaway. So Alex, if you can perhaps give me the Gleam link, and then I'm gonna prepare the secret word. Today is a special.
Let's see what it does right now.
All caps, right?
It could just take me out for half a risk right now. Because I did enter another 10 with half did trail the stops and put another in for half an R risk. Well, let's get this going.
Okay.
I would close it if like, but that's obviously like that's me. But I would close it here because it's break.
That's making Alex's decision even harder. He already has his doubts, and we're telling him to close it.
No doubts. Gotta live and die by the sword. Let me do this. For the people that are in the Discord, we are going over. Well, I'm definitely going over. I don't know who will be joining me, but we're going over to the Discord afterwards to talk about some of our previous trades that we've done today, break them down a little bit of better detail. It's going to be a party. So if you want to join in, definitely come over there.
Yeah, so everyone who has an account with the 5ers doesn't have to be funded. It only needs to be an account.
Okay.
challenge accounts were funded. You go into the, you log into the hub, you click accounts overview, and then you click the program that you're trading. You click that one, and then at the upper right corner, you're gonna have a link to Discord. You just press that Discord logo. It will take you right into the Discord.
For those who are not members yet, the Discord server is a great community to be part
there's
of.
going to be snacks.
We have not only the moderator, I myself am one in there, but all the members, a lot of members are there helping each other, giving tips, and I can see how they are making other grow. I constantly see newer trader coming in, and they say they don't have consistency, and part of the sessions we hold there where we explain things, we do market analysis live, and many of them after a few weeks are showing their results. So it's great, and it's all exclusive for the 5ers, people who have the 5ers accounts. So it's a great thing.
Little mouse.
So guys, before we start the giveaway, remember to hit that like. If you haven't hit the like button, do that. The like button is what will determine how many accounts we're giving away. Right now we are right below 600, which means if we hit that 600 mark, we're going to give away 12, 20. Is it 20?
The moment it's going to be 10.
20K? 10? Is it going to be 10?
Yeah, it'll be 10. If we don't get the 6, then it'll be 10.
Yeah.
We had another trader actually pass, another giveaway trader pass his 250K account. How sick is that? Yeah, that's 2 people now. That's fantastic. And they're watching the streams. Hopefully they're watching now. They don't really want to come onto stream now. I have tried one of them. Let me pull up. I'm not going to pull up his name live, but look, where's my emails? Marcus. Let's have a look. He says he doesn't.
Yeah, we got
English
600 likes.
Okay, fine. We got 600 likes, so it's 12. Nice.
I wanna say hello to all our Hispanic viewers. I've been reading in the chat, and there's a lot of people from Latin America. I say hi to you guys. Feliz dia.
Only to those.
Victor, you're not Spanish.
Well, actually, to everyone, but in a special mention to those, because I've been reading them, and there are quite a few of them. Of course, everyone, you are all welcome, and I'm happy to interact with everyone. Fernando, yeah, I've seen a lot of Hispanics viewers, and that's all great, and I enjoy that. But everyone is. I say hello to everyone, each one of you. You're gonna say something?
For life,
Jonathan.
Yeah. What?
No. I thought you were gonna say something about I don't know about what I said.
Oh no, I'm gonna say meh. Is it meh for life? That's the code. But we don't have a link yet. Where's the link at?
Yeah, I've put the link through already.
Yeah, maybe we could just post it in the chat. Oh, there it is. Let's go. Right, so go into the comment section on YouTube if you're if you're watching from.
That was really close from taking me out. That was super close from taking me out.
Holy shit! Look at that. Yeah.
Did you have the mat on? Did you have the mat on?
In my heart, I had the mat.
That looks like the mat at work, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, but maybe it's an invisible mat. And watching now, Murphy's Law will just trash. There'll be like a crash in the pound right now.
Guys, if you're watching this, the key to the giveaway is MEH for live. So it's MEH4LR. Yeah, it's right there. Go in the comment section, the chat in YouTube, and press the link. It looks to me like GBP USD. We possibly have a low time frame short lining up here.
My mouth really should have.
We probably has. Yep.
Take the short, Jonathan.
You want me to take the
Take
short?
it. I'd say take it. Just do it. Just take the short. Go against me, I dare you. Go against the position. Oh, we got, yep, Discord is amazing. Yes, it is indeedy. Wow, how much, look, so I'm not joking with like candy these days. Did it always taste so sugary? I swear to God, like I was eating so much. I had like
I do think
massive
sugar
rush.
have been tasting like sugar for a while.
Sugar's been tasting like sugar for a while.
Yeah. All right, I'm sure. Do you go?
Did you please tell me you went short?
He
No,
closed my position. Why did he close my position?
good.
What did it? Are you like doing
I'm
something in the
protecting.
back end with my account?
I'm protecting your account, Jonathan.
What happened? Why did it close it automatically? Good. All right.
Okay, so we got quite a lot of people in already.
I do have a setup now on a short setup on GU, and this one lines up with the H4 structure. So this one I like taking because I take the signals even when it's against the market structure, but this one is with the market structure. So I'm going to be looking at, that's the quasi. Let me show you. Right, that's the left shoulder, the head. And now it's going for that possible right shoulder, and I'm going to be looking at how it reacts to those either this one or the other one. And if it breaks it, then it's over. But if it doesn't, it signals, then that's a signal for me. So we'll see.
Oh, I'm actually at my
As of now,
daily pause level. I've never experienced that before. The daily pause level saved me from that trade.
You've got a daily pause level?
Yeah, it's 3%. So I was up. I lost. Apparently, I lost 3%.
You've got an instant
today on that account.
You got. I thought you were trading high stakes. Why did I think you were trading high stakes?
No, I'm trading the whatever the other one is called.
Yo, you're trading the hypergrowth.
Yeah, hypergrowth. Yeah.
Or bootcamp. Okay, hypergrowth. Okay.
Hypergrowth. I got a 3% daily loss. The first time that happened, I'm like, I kind of like panicked. I'm like, did I do something wrong here? Like, I can't enter a trade. That's actually a really good rule though, to have a daily pause level, because. So let me talk a little bit about that. So on the hypergrowth program, there's and I think maybe that's on Bootcamp as well. I'm not sure, but there's a daily pause level, which means if you hit that loss in a day, you can't be trading for the rest of that day. So my daily pause level is 3%, which means today or for the last 24 hours, I've lost, I believe, 3R. So I'm risking 1% per trade, and I've lost 3R, which means that it gets activated, so I can no longer trade today. And that's a great thing to have, because that means that if you go on tilt and you just start, trading more and more, you can't have that those big drawdowns.
Yeah,
it's a really good thing to have.
Shall I do the honors and pull the, or should we give them a couple more minutes? I'm gonna do them now because I've got to write them all on the.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Oh God. Push up. Everybody blow up on the screen, please. before we do
First,
anything, I'm just going
the
to-
first entry order block was invalidated, so that's in your favor, Alex.
Great.
We got another one, and if that one is invalidated as well, then the setup is completely invalidated and price should continue to go up.
So do you know what we're going to do just to pump the price up just a little bit more? And we haven't done this in a while, but this is definitely going to help. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Pump it
Oh,
up,
see
guys.
that? Oh, you see that?
Push it up.
It's actually working. It's actually working. Look at that.
That's it. Oh, well, that was very anticlimactic. Thought we were going to say a god candle, but nope. Okie dokie. Victor, you coming into the Discord after, or you're off after? You gonna pop your face?
I have a scheduled meeting session. I mean, I think we're gonna be sharing that session, or I'm not sure. But yes, normally I will be according to the schedule. I will be on.
Oh,
in about
so I'm jumping on
30
your
minutes.
schedule.
It's your schedule. Don't worry, it's your session.
No.
It's your session, anyways. Don't worry.
That's weird. Why have I? Let's see what's gone on here.
Yeah, I'll see if I'll see if I can jump on. Probably gonna be on phone or the laptop. Let's see. It depends on when the kids.
So I don't know why. So there's a lot of people. For some reason, it's showing that a fraud filter for 400 different people. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to accept you all because I don't know why it's done that. I'm going to validate all of those entries. No, they're US as well.
Price
We're
is
gonna have to see.
pumping.
We're gonna have to see what we're gonna do with the US. At the moment, we can't accept any more US traders for the moment. We'll see about maybe keeping the account for you for when we do. It's totally up to you guys. I need to speak to Saul to double check.
All right, guys. Do we have the giveaway done?
Sorry, yeah, I'm just sorting it out now. And okay, so we've got 12 people. Do you want to whack some music on while I just enter these? Okay, dokie. We got some. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put another loyalty bonus next time for everybody. So if you've been in the stream 10 times, we are going to give you an extra special loyalty bonus of 20 entries. Or we can do something even crazier. If you've been in 20 times, we'll give you double. Let me think about how we're going to do that.
I want to show you guys I have right now on GU. Let's put on the so everything but the moving averages here are somewhat aligning with my swing trading system. So you guys maybe you guys remember when I had the live stream where I talked about my swing trading system, where basically we're looking for a break and retest of a level, and in this case I'm looking at a level that kind of goes like this, and we have a break and retest here, and the retest happens on the 0.618, and then you have that 4-hour bullish engulfing candle, which is closing above the 50% fib. So if I would be taking this as a swing trade, I would be placing long orders on the retest of the 50 at the close of this 4-hour candle, which is going to happen in 1 hour and 45 minutes, and then this will be the setup as a swing setup. Now, because of the fact that this could be a good swing trading setup, I might want to look at the lower time frames and see, could I get an entry like in this area on the lower time frames with a tighter stop loss. So you might even want to go down to the 15-minute and perhaps look at something like this, a breakout and then retest and they could be basing. But right now, I like it because this. I don't know if you guys are agreeing with me here, but this 4-hour candle kind of changes everything, because when we started the live stream, we said that GU is we're biased to the downside. But if this 4-hour candle closes like this, I would say that we are now seeing the first signs of a possible bullish structure here for a move higher. And I think, Victor, you talked about how this might be a long setup as well, right?
Yes, the entry is a little bit lower, but if you look at, I think it was EU, not GU. But if you look at on GU, there is like an H4 order block, but it's much lower. So what I think is,
So is this the order
if you
block
look
you're
at
talking about? Maybe
EU,
like that? Like
yes,
this
but
one?
the
Or is it
setup I
here?
was the one. No, that's the one. That's correctly so. But the order block that I was talking, well, the setup I was talking about was on EU, the one with the
Right, okay.
daily target and everything, and we did get into we did uh if you show me your if you show my screen, I can let you see what I was meaning on. I was referring to on there are different order blocks here, right? But this order block, right, that's from the bigger quasi that was formed here on the H4. And that order block today, let me see, it's this one. That's the H4 order block. Price already signaled and came back and interacted with it with a wick. I don't have a signal there, but that makes sense to me for a move higher. So what we could be seeing in the coming days is that we now have the first leg of a possible reversal trend. So we have been going short from the top, and maybe this will be something like this. Who knows, right? And if it reacts
Right.
on this order block, we could be seeing like the next leg coming up. And I agree completely with you on EU. If you look at EU, we have I started the session saying that the order flow is completely bearish, right? The order block bearish, and even before that, we have an outside bar bearish order block. It came into demand area, but after that, we've been only forming. When we started the session, we formed another bearish order block, and right now this H4 order block does not fit that picture, right? Because it's bullish. So there is a change who is in control, possibly. If it still has 1 hour and 41 minutes to close, but to me, I very much agree with you. It doesn't all the bearish order flow, this candle, this bullish engulfing does not fit. So the question is this the beginning of a new trend? Will this now start? Will this now start a movement from here? Perhaps it will go up and then retest and then starting going something like this. Is that what we're going to be seeing? No one knows that yet, but it changes something here. This market structure with that engulfing it when it closed, to me it is a signal of a possible reversal in the trend, and for
Yeah.
sure it will be on the order flow, right? Because it's no longer uh like obviously bearish. It will starting to switch to maybe mix, because you have bearish but you also have bullish structures. So that's how I the narrative switches, that shifts a little bit in favor of a bullish scenario.
All right. With that said, I think it's time to
Let
thank
me
you
show
all for.
give me 2 seconds. Let me just show everybody just for transparency. Oops. Let's just show the screen for transparency. Let me just mute. Yeah, let me just mute it. After. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sorry, guys. I don't know what is going on with my computer. Why? Okay, here we go. We got it, guys. We got it. We got it. These are the names. Okay. I'm not going to botch them up because somebody actually laughed at me over email because I botched up the names. So here we go. If your name's being called out, you're going to get an email from me very soon with your account. Okay. So again, if your name is on this list, you are going to be sent an email with a link where you will be able to get the new accounts. And it's totally free, guys. So you don't have to pay for anything. Once you pass the account, you send me an email again, and I'll give you credits for the funded account as well. And that is it.
All right, beautiful.
And
guys,
I'm getting out of
it's
the trade.
all right, the third live stream of the week. It's the last one. I'm trying to find the camera. Right there's the camera. I'd like to thank you all for joining this week, and we're going to do the same thing next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and we're gonna have Victor on. Hopefully, we're gonna have Victor on, right?
We got
Alex?
Victor.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if he wants to stay. Victor, do you want to stay part of the team? Because this is Victor, guys. This is Victor's trial period, just to see if he likes it, and we do like to have him on here. It's been fun.
Absolutely.
But it is up to him if he wants to stay. So yeah.
Give him some love in the comments.
It's not a to me it's not difficult to decide. I love trading. Trading is my passion, and anything related to trading is only hearing about it already gets me excited. So yes, guys.
Ooh.
If it's up to me, I want to stay longer in these sessions. I enjoy them. I enjoy sharing the little I know. So yes, if you will have me, yes, I will be a part of it.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. No, I do like your
That's
analysis. It's very interesting to have someone on that, you know, looks at the markets in very different ways, but we still have the, you know, underlying the foundational knowledge is the same. I just got an alert on USD CHF that I would have been in big profits if we just had my stop loss just a little bit lower, and that feels like that's a great subject to end on.
You win some, you lose some, but
guys,
we're going down to the Discord.
Go into the dashboard on the5ers.com, log into the dashboard, click overview, whatever that's called, go into your programs.
I'm just going to say,
this
before
guy,
we go,
every
this guy,
live stream.
you've been here every single, do you know, so I'll give you the first, I think you had an account about a month ago, and unfortunately it got given to somebody else that was a scammer, but you've been here so many times. I kind of think that you are the real deal and you're the real person. So yes, finally,
every live stream, like this guy again.
Yeah, after
just give him the account.
You clearly must be real, because no scammer would be this determined to get the account. So don't worry,
like hopefully we're not giving people Victor. So yeah, we have somebody here who has a request. What do you say? Maybe he's from...
Sure. I will.
Nice.
I will adopt.
Yeah,
sure.
There we go. We're adopting people now on stream. Right. Okay,
yeah. All right. Welcome
guys.
to the 5ers Adoption Agency.
Yeah.
Okay. With that said, let's join our Discord, and we're going to continue the session over there. All right, guys. Thanks, everyone, and we will see you next week. Take care.
Hi guys, so thank you very much for watching the video. Now make sure you like and subscribe, and most of all, go into the YouTube and check our